Man, got round. I want you seven back here. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm gonna give it to you real and hard and rough and tough, because we keep it real over here. Because keeping it real and keeping it a buck is the only way they do it, as the youngsters say, man. It's the only way to live. To that own self be true. You should never be false to another motherfucking man in this life. Because all you believe in, man, is being congruent with who and what you are, man. Today I'm going to give you guys some stories of V for victory and G for glory. The victory of understanding, dude, that in a corrupt country, man, even an innocent, law-abiding citizen type of a motherfucker can end up in the belly of the beast. And the glory of understanding, dude, that if you're in touch with beast mode law, dude, you're able to tap into your inner animal. It don't matter whether you're in corporate America, the hood, the barrio, the trailer park, or the belly of the beast, motherfucker. You can rely on yourself to make sure that you live by one code and one code only. If you can't live free, motherfucker, you're willing to die hard. And the only difference is the motherfuckers who's trying to oppress you or take your life, you taking them bitch-made motherfuckers with you. Because one thing I learned about predators living in maximum security prison, this even goes for apex predators, predators at the top of the heap, dude. Especially gang members and bullies, dude. And those who would look to oppress you. They always looking for an easy target. Why? Because deep down they a coward, they soft. It just maybe they hit the genetic lottery, maybe they big, tall, strong, maybe they scary looking. Maybe they know how to fight viciously and violently and savagery. Maybe they know how to strike first and strike two, whatever it is. Because this is what cracks me up about you youngsters coming to my channel. A real motherfucker that's a savage, a real savage barbarian, a real warrior, a really crazed, chaotic motherfucker, they stay to themselves. That's why they got this thing called a Sigma male now, dude. Sigma males don't need to be alpha. They don't need to prove nothing. They don't need to be the loudest dude in the room. Man, Sigmas move in silence because they know it, man. And I listened to a dude named Dan Kennedy the other day, and he was quoting Jordan Peterson. And he was saying that it's better to be a warrior in the garden than a gardener in a war. And all that means is, dude, the people who have the ability to commit the most savage, heinous shit, hey, man, those are the nicest guys you ever meet. If you ever meet some real-life Special Forces, Green Beret, Navy SEAL type motherfuckers, they the nicest people you can ever meet. Even when you talk about David Goggins, man, like, even though something's wrong with David Goggins because his father abused him when he was a kid and he got picked on, living in white neighborhoods where he was trying to fit in, deep down, he's a good dude. That's why he never lies. He tells you the truth. He tells it like it is, and he tells you to face your demons and to face your fears, and never lie to a motherfucker, man. So without further ado, I want to get into the topic of today's video, which is innocent white man framed by crooked cops sent to prison where black thugs give him love with all their long swipe homies. Deep up in him, dude. Talking about, ooh, we sure love this vanilla ice cream. This shit is nice and gooey and tight. And it puckers, man. So I want to get straight into the story, man, because there's a lot to cover here, man. But I want to share this to you. I appreciate my valued subscribers. I can't get to all your comments. I try to give you guys, like, you know, thumbs up, man, and hearts and stuff. I can only comment when it's something like a person asks me a question that I think is relevant. Because I'm living a full analog life, man, outside of this digital matrix, man. This digital, delusional psyop that they got you living through your social media with TikTok and Instagram and even YouTube, man. If you're not on YouTube to learn some shit, bro, you're wasting your motherfucking time, man. You motherfucking youngsters get it twisted when I tell you not to watch a lot of YouTube. What I'm saying is, if you're going to watch YouTube, use YouTube like my nephew taught me about YouTube in 2016. He taught me about YouTube. He said, hey, uncle, you reading all these thick technical manuals. Or you got to go on the YouTube and say, hey, how to build, an Active Directory server, how to build what's it called, man? How to build how to build a Palo Alto firewall, how to build a promiscuous firewall, you know, how to build clustered servers. And it blew my mind, dude, because I used to spend hours upon hours, like, get off work after get home from college. I used to stay up till after midnight reading these thick technical manuals so I can be ready for work the next day. And once my nephew turned me on to YouTube, anything you want to learn, man, mostly constructive is on YouTube, man. You can just put it in the YouTube search algorithm and it'll give you step-by-step instructions on how to build servers, how to configure routers and switches, dude, how to build firewalls, dude, how to build redundant servers. For those of you, man, who understand IT and tech, man, you understand the verbiage, the vernacular I'm using, dude. How to write code in Python, dude. How to call modules in C# and C++, dude. All kind of how to use JavaScript. YouTube is a plethora of knowledge if you're open to learn, but if you're just here to get entertained, you're wasting your mob fucking time. So without further ado, let me tell you about this story, man. This was this white dude, man, and he's a upper middle class white dude, because right now in America, there's still like 5 classes of people, dude. You have the very, very poor people, dude. Like, I'm going to call those like the homeless dregs of society, like the people that live underneath the tunnels of Vegas, the people that live like in the tunnel cities of Chicago and New York underneath. Like, just so you know, in every major city, dude, they got tunnel systems and people live under there, man. People and all kind of shit you don't want to know about. And then you have the poor, which is like below the poverty line. Those are the people getting HUD and housing urban development, man, and what's it called, Section 8. They're getting food stamps and they're getting government subsidies and stuff like that. This is what the illegal aliens are doing when they come over here through Mexico, through the borders. And just so you know, most of them are Mexicans, man. Some of them are Chinese nationals, undercover military dudes. Some of the dudes are Middle Eastern dudes. Because sometimes it's hard to tell one brown dude from another, man. They all, like white people say, they all look alike, man. All those motherfuckers look alike. Thelma. How the Karens talk. No, you need to be able to identify different racial classifications, but a lot of the immigrants coming over ain't Mexicans, man. And then, man, you got the people like, let's just call them the working class. Those is the people like your bus drivers, man, and your garbage men, and your blue-collar workers, like those kind of dudes, man. And then you got what's called your upper middle class, man. These is dude like this dude in this story I'm gonna tell you. This white dude, he was an airline mechanic, man. Those type of dudes make money. I'm gonna tell you some other people who make money, man. It's plumbers, dude, automotive technicians, not automotive mechanic, but technicians that understand all the computers in your car, dude. And when you want to start talking about, high-level engineers, whether it's a civil engineer, mechanical engineer, you know what I mean? Like me, I was an IT engineer. And then, of course, you have the rich, elite, powerful, which goes into athletes, entertainers, dancers, singers, actors, models, people of that nature, man. Just high status, and entrepreneurs and owners and CEOs like Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates and Elon Musk, those type of people. So this was an upper middle class dude, airline mechanic dude, been on the job, man, for 12 years. Lived in a nice area of San Francisco. I think it was like he lived in Daly City, dude. This was a square dude, paid his taxes, helped his family, helped little old ladies cross the street, man. Helped old dudes take out their garbage. Just a good old white dude, like the backbone of our society. And I'm not trying to make this a racially divided video, but I want to say this is my experience in America. One thing about working class white dudes and upper middle class white dudes, they believe in the American value of like, man, go to school, pay your taxes, get a good job, man. Look out for your community, man, and help people, dude. They believe in this country where it's like, and I'm not picking on other races or cultures that come here, but they just come into America to get what they can get and then send it back to their countries. Heck, some even bounce back to their country to live like kings. They come over to America, get the American education. They make the American money working for these corporations because in America, If you're from another country, dude, like a third world country, you'll make 10 times in America what you can make in the third world country. So then, let's say you wisely invest your money in the stock market or crypto. Let's just say you're very judicious and you save your money, dude. You can work in America for 10 years, go back to your country in a third world country, live like a king with maids and butlers and drivers and security, all kind of shit. And just live off the interest of your money that you got in the American banks. But anyway, back to the story, guys. So this guy, man, he loved his wife. They was looking to have kids. You know, this dude was in his 30s. A lot of dudes that have education, like in engineering degrees and bachelor's degrees and master's, they understand one thing. In your 30s, you want to live your life. Your 20s and 30s, you want to live your life traveling and doing different things and experiencing the world, so that when you get into your mid-30s, dude, and you have a kid, you can be a very good parent, focusing most of your time and energy to make sure your kid has a better life than you have. Not by putting your kid in daycare and putting your kid and having somebody else raise your kid, dude. When you have somebody else raise your kid, they give your kid their values, and their values might not be yours. Just look at all these transgender teachers, man. These LGBTQ teachers, man, teaching your kids about, hey, if you feel like you're a woman trapped in a boy's body, then just go over here to the school nurse and you can get these beta blockers to block your ability to go through puberty. And then if your parents don't agree, that we'll have the state take you so they can chop your pee off and shove it up in you so you can have an innie instead of an outie, and all this kind of crazy shit, right? So back to the story, man. You guys always talking about I'm random, but I'm giving you some particular bullet points, motherfucker. So anyway, man, this dude was just a regular dude. So then the reason I want to tell you this story, man, in America, just like any other country, a lot of police officers are very, very corrupt, dude. And I want to share this with you square dudes who believe that, you know, the police are good old boys and good old dudes and upstanding members of your community. Well, I mean, I'm thinking in your community, they might practice duplicitous behavior, meaning like around white people, the cops are on their best behavior normally, and they act like, you know, they're good civil servants. But then when you put them in minority communities, hey, man, they do a lot of savage hits and just killing dudes and planting guns and planting drugs, just crazy stuff. And I don't know if it's because they have a psychosis or if it's just par for the course. I don't know. I don't care. I never been a police officer, nor have I ever wanted to be one. But in my experience, and I just had the pleasure of being interviewed on Renee's show, Keeping It Real with Renee over on Rumble. You know, she asked me my experience about cops and things like this, and I told her like this. I said, all the police officers that I know personally that I have had interactions with are corrupt. And she says to me, oh, gee, are you saying all police officers are corrupt? I said, no, that's not what I said. I said, all the police officers that I know personally that I have had personal interactions with, whether it's through the law or through meeting them through friends or associating with them when we was in the military, whatever, they all corrupt. And I'm sharing this with you square white dudes, tax-paying dudes, even you Asian dudes who come over here and you get your master's degree and PhDs and you have good corporate jobs, and you Indian dudes that come over here, you don't have to be like, hey, Sahib, bring the sheep over here. You don't have to do that, and you're running your 7-Elevens and stuff and your gas stations. I'm sharing with you, man, you have to be very careful about the police and the relationship you have with them. Keep them at arm's length, because the story I'm about to tell you, this white dude never even had a traffic ticket, and we're going to call him Jimmy. I don't know if it's Jimmy's like a nickname for James, but we're going to call him Jimmy. So Jimmy's going to work, man. He's planning to go to Thailand, taking his wife there for their anniversary. So then you got these two crooked white cops, and I'm going to tell you what happens with some cops. I can't say all, but some cops, man, when they live in a jurisdiction like San Francisco with the Haight-Ashbury district, man, and Hunters Point, where you got big-time mafia control. See, it's one thing in your community when you see like little black boys and little brown boys selling drugs and crack cocaine and fentanyl on the corner. That's a different level of drug trafficking. When you start talking about the Italian mafia and the Russian mafia and the Chinese mafia, like you got to watch this movie called Safe with Jason Statham. When you start talking about this type of organized crime where they importing stuff from other countries, just like the movie, the first Equalizer. When you're involved with the Russians and the Italians and the Chinese like that, and they importing drugs from other countries, bro, they got most of the police on the payroll. I can't say all, I'm saying most. And most major cities like Chicago, Detroit, New York, Los Angeles. I know for a fact about Salinas, California, and Los Angeles. The chief of police is on the payroll and it just rolls down. The mayor is on the payroll and it just rolls down. And for those of you who want more information, you want me to dox some people, you're going to have to hit me up on my Patreon, man, for $150 coaching session where I can tell you my personal experiences, dude, with corrupt mayors, chief of police, task forces on the payroll from these high-level gangsters. So back to the story, you had these two crooked white cops, man, and they in the pockets of the Italian mafia in San Francisco. The mafia is just not on the East Coast, it's on the West Coast too. Especially, dude, when I lived in Vegas, wow, I got to see a lot of big-time mafia dudes, and that's when I understood I'm so happy I'm on the square side of the law, because when you go to the dark side, nothing's waiting for you but death, dismemberment, and being locked up the rest of your life. Because when you're messing with the mafia, they got the police in their pocket, it's a lose-lose situation. So anyway, you got these two crooked white cops, man, and they got this white drug addict dude, man, that gives them information about. And this is how it works. And you'll see this, man, when they'll get to the punchline. Watch this video to the end, because I'm going to give you the keys to the kingdom. So what happens is, this drug addict white dude, man, he's trailer park trash. He's on crystal meth, dude. He's just a junkie, robbing and stealing, and just a small time junkie, right? And he gives the police informants information, and then so does a big time mafia dude. Like when a new drug dealer moves into town, he's setting up shop and he's moving weight. The mafia drug dealer drops a dime to the police, man. And you talk about mafia, they gangsters and the criminal code, you don't work with the police. Most gangsters work with the police. They all bitches. So the mafia boss is not the only one dropping dimes to the police. This drug addict white boy, this drug addict, he gives the police, he's the informant, he gives them some information. So he says it's 320 Oak Way. And then the police officer, man, whatever they do, whenever they bust these drug dealers that the informants give them information on, let's say it's 20 kilos, man. In California, you just need to have 2 kilos to lock a dude up for a very long time. So they take 18 kilos and then they sell them back to the drug dealers that's on their payroll. And you're going to see what I'm talking about at the end of this video. So anyway, the informant junkie white boy tells the two white police officers, yeah, it's going to be a drug deal going down at 320 Oak Way. And then the white dude, the white cop, the police officer, he's on coke. Because whenever you bust some drug dealers, you have to sample that the coke is real. Now, you can sample it with a drug test kit if you're a clean, square white dude. Or if you're one of these dirty cops, you want to put it in your gums like that. Oh, yeah, that's some good shit, right? So that's what this white boy, now he got a cocaine habit. So anyway, when he's on the phone with the informant tells him it's 320 Oak Way, and this white boy, this white cop man who's on drugs, puts down 320 Oak Lane, which Oak Way and Oak Lane is two different streets. So then the cops put on their full rag gear, the two dirty cops. They never call for backup. They got their pump shotguns and their breaking the door in. And this dude, this white boy, Jimmy, just gets off work, long day of, working at, I don't know if he worked for United Airlines or American Airlines repairing planes because there's a schedule to keep. His wife's a nurse, so she's working late. He gets home. There's a salad in the refrigerator. He knows that's the signal his wife gives him when she's got to work late. She makes a salad so he has something to eat. So he jumps in the shower. This is late at night because he just worked a 16-hour shift. Then the cops, man, pull up to his place. The one cop says to the other cop, hey, man, it don't look like there's no activity. And the one cop says, yeah, man. He said 320 Oak Way, like that. No, Oak Lane, like that. So they pull out the ramrod, they bust in the front door, bust out the back door. So the dude's in the shower. He comes out the shower, he's blow drying his hair, and he hears some loud noises like the glass broke in the living room. So when he comes down the hallway, the one cop says, "Freeze!" and he's high off of cocaine. And the dude is in the hallway, but he's shadowed and he got his he got his hair dryer. You know, when you're drying your hair, you come out the shower, you don't walk down the hallway like that. You have it by your hip. So it looks like he's got a gun and dude shoots him. Blah! 357 Magnum hollow point. Straight in the abdomen, knocks dude unconscious. So then his partner goes, "Hey man, search him." So then he said, "Dude tried to shoot me." So his partner goes, "Hey man, this dude is armed with a hair dryer." And then the one dude, the crooked cop, goes, "You know how they trying to take us down, man." So what they did was, man, while his dude's unconscious, they take the hair dryer out of his hand and they put a throwaway gun in the dude's hand and they fire a bullet in the direction where the cop was coming in the front door. Bow! So that there's a ballistic of the bullet. And then they handcuff him, take him to jail. Now his fingerprints is on the gun that shot at the cop. And then they charge him with being a drug dealer, man, and attempted murder on the cop. And just the way, man, that the political system works in California, and I know for sure the legal system, man, a lot of the judges is on the payroll. And I'll tell you some personal stories from my situation. I know I'm not just talking about watching movies and shit I've heard. I'm talking about my own personal. I have 5 cases pending, man. And 2 of the judges was fucking on the payroll. So anyway, dude, the judge sentences him, man, to, 6 years in prison, dude. Because he's a first timer. He never had a felony before. He could get, when they sentence you, when you go to jury trial, they can give you the minimum, which is 6 years, or the maximum, which is 12 years. It's a range. Being that he was a first termer, they gave him 6 years in maximum security prison. And then when he gets to prison, dude, he's an innocent man. He ain't clicked up with the Woods or the ABs or the Hells Angels, none of that. And he works with black dudes out on the street, right? He works with Mexican dudes, and he's not a racist, but he very quickly gets to prison, and he sees everybody's trying to give him advice. Listen, when I say everybody, I'm talking about his people. All his people's trying to give him advice. Why? Because they know he's a newbie, he's a square, he's an innocent dude. He ain't linked up, hooked up with no sets of Varios. They trying to get him under their wing so they can grow up in his fresh butthole because they just demonic, sodomite homosexuals, dude. They got a homosexual demon. They got a succubus in them, dude. An incubus and a succubus. If you don't know what that is, Google it. So anyway, dude, everybody's trying to give him advice, man. Everybody wants something from him, which is his culo, right? So, dude, he ain't trying to ride with nobody. He ain't trying to listen to the white boys because he's a pretty strapping white dude. He's a tall dude, pretty athletic, man. He ain't trying to hear all that. But then what happens, man, this is what I try to explain to you youngsters, man. When you ride alone like me, lone wolf like me, that's why my stories is different than anybody else. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a people. I didn't have a gente. I didn't have a protective class. I didn't have a bubble boy life. I'm walking on the yard by myself and everybody's clicked up because everybody in prison is cowards. And they can see when you walk by yourself because you stand out like a sore thumb. So this white boy's walking the yard by himself, man. And the brothers notice it. And I'm going to make a video, man, and probably by the end of this week, man, to explain to you, I'm going to explain to everybody, whether you African American, you white, you Asian, you Indian, are you Hispanic, are you Afro-Latino, are you a white boy, whatever you are, I'm going to explain to you why in the world, and especially in America, why everybody hates black males. But if you watch this video to the end, I'm going to give you a little pointer. So anyway, you got these big black dudes in prison, man. And this was a real prison because I was actually there, man. Like I remember the place there. I guess they rented it out and let them film in there, man. Or maybe this was a closed prison and I was in before, but now it's closed. But dude, this is an authentic level 4 prison. So anyway, the black dudes noticed that this white dude ain't hanging with the ABs or the Aryan brothers, man, or the Ku Klux Klan or the skinheads or the Nazis or the fucking Hells Angels. He's a lone wolf. He's fresh meat. So the brothers, man, I'm trying to tell you how they press people in prison. The tests start your first day there. So what happens, man, when you first get to prison, you get your bedroll, you get assigned to your cell, and it's normally, man, a dude that's already there. But in this particular sense, Jimmy and this new white dude that came to prison, he was a repeat offender. They both get in the cell together. The repeat offender takes the bottom bunk because he knows what time it is. So then you go down to the correctional officer booth when you're new, and they give you a bag with your toothpaste, soap, and your toothbrush, right? And so he's walking back to his cell, man, and the big black dude was like, "Hey, sucker, what you got for me?" And he was like, "Hey, man, I just came from the correctional officer booth. I just got my toothpaste and soap, man, and my toothbrush." "Well, you gonna give it to me, sucker?" "Hey, man, why are you taking my stuff?" So this is the first part where he failed the test, and then they got in his face, man, and they snatched his shit. And the white dudes is looking, but because they had already approached the white dude, say, "Hey, you want to ride with us, Wood? You want to ride with us, brother? You want to be down with the Woods, brother?" And he's like, "Nah, I ain't with none of that." He tried to be a lone wolf like me. But see, people watch this. The blacks and the Mexicans and the Asians, they watch this. So they know that he was a target. So the brothers was like, "Man, snatched his shit, man." And he didn't do nothing. So this was the first test. So then here's the second test, dude. The second test, man, when dude was he was working on garbage detail, and he emptied the garbage when he came back. The black dudes was like, "Hey, man, from now on, man, the money that your wife send your bitch ass, you gonna put it on my books, motherfucker. And you gonna buy whatever the fuck I want you to buy." And dude's like, "Hey, man, I ain't giving you nothing." And the black dude's like, "What the fuck you talking about? What the fuck you talking about, Willis?" And so the white dude tried to walk off, and the black dude said, "Hey, man, don't turn your back when you're talking to me." And the white dude pushed him away like he tried to assert himself. And dude, they beat the donkey shit out of dude. Beat the fucking snot out of him. Broke his nose, his occipital lobe, dude. Broke his fucking jaw. Fucked him up. And they ran off because there's a lot of blind spots in prison. So the guards found him unconscious and broken up, took him to the infirmary. They asked him to snitch. And the white dude's like, "Hey, man, I know what time it is in here. If you tell on somebody, it's even worse because nobody's here to protect me." And then the correctional officer's like, "You want to play hard ass? You going to the shoe for 90 days. And just so you guys know, you've never been to prison, you square dudes. Even if somebody attacks you and you don't fight back, dude, you don't defend yourself, you're still going to the shoe because there was an act of violence committed on the yard and they have to keep some form of civility. They lock everybody up. So they couldn't find the black dudes that did it. So they put the white dude in the shoe. And then when he comes out, there was this old lifer dude in there. Dude was a hardcore convict. Told him, "Listen here, Wood. And here, man, you got to stand for something, dude, or you're going to be the black dude's bitches. And they're going to go up in you." And the white dude's like, "What do you want me to do, man? There's 5 of them. What do you mean?" And he said, "Hey, man, listen to OG Silverback, man. Get a Cohete and do him." "What do you mean doing?" "Kill that fucking ninja." "Hey, man, I'm not a killer, man. I only got 6 years to do, man. You know what I'm saying?" He said, "Okay, brother. If you don't handle your business, man, the AB's going to take you for their bitch, man, or the KKK, or the Hells Angels, because you just a bitch. And if the blacks get you, they just going to be going up in you every night." He said, "Hey, I'm just going to have to deal with it." So then, this is what pushed him over the edge, dude. One time he was in the gym trying to work out to get his muscles big because he knew he had the feet, thinking he going to just fight. Black dude snatched him up. They had the Cohetes on him. "Hey, my man, if you make a sound, we're going to fill you so full of holes. Holes, you're going to be like a deflated helium balloon." So they snatched him from the gym and took him into the blind spot in the prison. And he seen there was a bunch of big black dudes, man, going balls deep up in this little white dude. Little white dude going, and they just gangbanging him, dude. And you guys like to watch porn, you be watching fucking Pornhub and what is it called, Bang Brothers? You ain't seen shit till you see the way they was going up in this white dude's butthole. Blood and poop and cums coming out of his butthole, bro. He's convulsing and shit. And they made Jimmy look at it. "Look here, sucker. If you don't put money on our books, this is going to be, you know what, we're going to take your money. We're going to be fucking you. And you're going to be doing ass to mouth, white boy." So then after he got up out of there, he went to the white shot caller, the murderer, the savage murderer, got life, ain't never getting out. He goes, "What I got to do?" And the white shot caller gave him a knife, dude. He said, "You do that, motherfucker." So in maximum security prison, black dudes like to play basketball, Mexican dudes like to play soccer, and white dudes like to play handball, right? So he's waiting for the black dude, man. He was playing basketball, and then after breakfast, most people have to poop, and when you running and jumping, it makes you have to poop. So he went in the bathroom to poop. The white boy followed him in the bathroom with the knife that the OG killer gave him, and he killed that motherfucker, man. So the moral of the story is what I'm trying to tell you, man. Even if you're an innocent white dude, and man, I'm mixed, dude, man. You see my skin tone, dude. I'm mixed with 4 different races, man. American Indians, dude. African, dude. Spanish European, dude. And then indigenous Indians from Puerto Rico, bro. So I love everybody, man. I'm just sharing with you, man. Like, a lot of white dudes are solid, good dudes. Like, some of you guys found my channel through accident, and I appreciate your comments because you're saying, "Hey, dude, thanks for letting us know what happens to a square dude in prison." This video is particularly for white square dudes, man, that you think just because you've never been in trouble, you can't end up in maximum security prison. And I got 3 things to say to you, man. Watch this movie called An Innocent Man with Tom Selleck. Watch this movie called Glass House with Alan Alda. And watch this movie called American History X with, I guess his name is Ed Norton, man. And it just shows, man, like, in America, criminals have more rights than you. And sometimes you're in a situation where you're defending your family or you're defending your household. What is it called? Eminent domain or right to stand or something, stand your ground, whatever it's called. You guys always like to correct me. I'm telling a story, motherfucker. I ain't no encyclopedia, but you understand what I'm saying. I'm fucking 63 and I'm senile, dude. I got dementia. But whatever the law is, when you got the right to protect your house and your kids, man, but you don't, unfortunately, with the adrenaline going, dude breaks into your house, maybe rapes your daughter while you sleep. You catch him running out. He's on your front lawn. You shoot him in the back with your pump shotgun with the 0.6, and you fucking kill him, and the police come. And in there, that's when you get informed, like, he's got a right to rob you, man, and if you don't catch him in your house, ain't shit you can do. And the fact you shot him on your front lawn, now you a convicted felon. Just stupid shit like that, dude. And then you end up in maximum security prison where you stand out like a sore fish. Because I'm going to tell you something about working class white dudes, whether you're blue collar, middle class white dudes, upper middle class, or God forbid, a rich white dude. Hey, man, the white dudes that's in prison ain't your people, dude. They the bottom dregs of the society, dude. Like, one thing about America, dude, if you're a poor, trash white dude, you're right. You got the same rights as a black dude or a Mexican dude or a gang member Asian dude. They don't give a fuck about you. White, in America, they only care about the white dudes that's paying taxes, dude, and that's, giving back to society. But if you like some trailer trash motherfucker, and the reason I'm telling you this, man, you straight square white dudes, I just want to let you know, always practice martial arts. Get into kickboxing or Muay Thai, dude. And if you can, like, take a judo class. And dude, you only can do it, if you can only do it 3 times a week, it's very good because it's going to give you the muscle memory. And I know what you white dudes are going to say. "Hey, OG, sit back. We're not felons. We got the right to bear arms. I got a 0.6. I got an AR-15. I got an M16. And I got a nice 9mm Glock." But here's the problem, guys. This is what I'm going to tell you about criminals who are crazy on drugs. When the motherfucker do a home invasion, he's armed too, man. And it's more than one cat, man. And sometimes, dude, even if you clean your weapons a lot, man, sometimes your weapons misfire, dude. Or sometimes if you got one of these hot white girls that's into yoga and free love and shit, man, and all this fucking Hinduism. "Hey, man, if you're going to have a gun in the house with little Johnny here, you have to keep it locked up where the gun is in the safe and then your ammunition's in another safe. And then that way you have to get the combination so the kids don't end up hurting themselves or doing Columbine. And you were so in love because you're a soft motherfucker. You believe in letting your woman run your life. You lock your weapons up like that. But then when the bad dudes come in and they got the safety off and they got one in the chamber and they creeping through your house and they see your bitch ass and you're trying to open the combination, they shoot you. Bow! Just so you know, when you get shot with a hollow point, you immediately go into shock. And when you wake up, your wife and kids is tied up in duct tape and you got these dirty, filthy drug addicts butt fucking them and ass to mouth in front of you. And then you wake up, man, and they duck tie you and they butt fuck you and then they execute your family in front of you. Like they did in the movie Law Abiding Citizen. Then you too shall realize, my friend, that in America, it's a fine line between civility, dude, and barbarism. And the only thing that separates you and keeps you and your family safe is your ability to practice kickboxing and Muay Thai and judo, bro. Even if you got all the weapons in the world, man, so that you're able to defend yourself and defend your family properly within the eyes of the law. Because even innocent people can end up in the belly of the beast with big black dudes trying to put their 12-inch pipes deep up in your butt cheeks, and then they make you do ass to mouth where you taste your own shit. So if you square dudes, man, and you middle class working dudes, man, and you upper class dudes, like the reality and the savagery and barbarism of your country, the great America, where even innocent people can go to prison, then thumbs up the video, man. Leave a comment below, man, on how you feel about criminals having more rights in America. Homeless drug addicts got more rights to you. A homeless drug addict can set up camp in front of your house, man, and it takes an act of God to get him removed because the police ain't going to do it now, man. So if you guys want to be educated, man, of what will happen to a square dude that goes into maximum security prison, you know, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification all button so you know when I'm going to give you a video. Most of all, share it with your square friends when they go, hey, man, why are you sending me some pitted chickers type stuff? You just be like, hey, man, just listen to this dude, OG Silverback, man. Hey, dude, he was a convicted felon and he came out and did a total metamorphosis. He did a total 180, dude, squared up, practiced duplicity behavior, talking about, good morning, golly gee, guys, let's talk about our stock portfolios. And he makes a recommendation of these movies that square dudes should watch to understand the realism of prison. And here's my top 10 movies for you guys to watch, man. The number one, man, is In Hell with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Number two is Midnight Express. I forget who's in it. Drew Danger recommended that to me and blow your mind. The next one's Shawshank Redemption. Next one's Innocent Man. Next one is Avengement with Scott Adkins. The next one is Shot Caller with the guy that played in Game of Thrones. The next one is Convict. And the next one is South Central. And the last one I recommend to you, man, is Lockdown. And dude, I want to ask you guys a favor, man, because I want you guys to be very encouraged to share my channel with people. But let me ask you this favor. Once you watch these movies, dude, you can binge watch them on the weekend. Then come back and watch this video, man. And if you understand that I'm giving you the truth, dude, the transparency that the American government isn't telling you about maximum security prison, I want you to thumbs up the video. Join my channel, man. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell. And most importantly, share it to as many people as you can because now you are a believer. So until next time, OG Silverback.